In recent years, we got used to Tesla dominating the EV market by a wide margin and maintaining a big portion of the market share. But recent news show that this may be starting to change. For example, the Ford Mustang Mach-E is starting to eat into Tesla's US market share. So, let's figure out what this means for Tesla, and keep watching. At the end, I'll talk about a little known project Tesla might be preparing that could give them the upper hand again. You're watching On Forward. Tesla is starting to face real competition from various automakers like Porsche, Jaguar and Ford, just to name a few. And although Tesla is well known in the EV industry, this market is super small compared to total car sales, as EV sales represent less than 5% of the global car market, but it is rapidly increasing. The other brands are much more widely known to the average consumer, so they have a lot more potential customers. Over the last month, Tesla's stock has been tumbling very heavily, managing to lose 30% of its value in a couple of weeks. It already started going up again, but it hasn't fully recovered yet. One big driver of this downfall was the news that Tesla was losing significant market share to competitors. Let's analyze Tesla's market share by place, as different regions have different realities. Starting in Tesla's biggest market right now, the US. Here, Tesla is losing market share mainly to the Ford Mustang Mach-E, going from 81% of market share in February 2020 to 69% a year later. But interestingly, total EV sales increased 34% in the same period. This is a trend we'll continue to see throughout the video with some exceptions, and it means that the sales of electric vehicles are increasing substantially, but Tesla isn't the only driver anymore. While it makes sense that over time Tesla's demand start plateauing in early adopter states like California, there is still a lot of demand left for Tesla in the US, with the market for EVs increasing faster every year, and Tesla's upcoming vehicles like the Cybertruck and the Model 2, I think they have nothing to worry about for now. The story on the European market goes a little bit different. Europe is currently Tesla's weakest market, as they've fallen behind the Volkswagen Group in 2020 sales numbers. Remember, this group contains a lot of brands like Volkswagen, Audi and Porsche, just to name a few. But not only that, Tesla's sales have actually decreased year over year in Europe, going from roughly 110,000 sales in 2019 and 31% of the market share to 98,000 sales and just 13.4% of the market share in 2020. Those numbers are pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie, but the reality is that Europe is the only big market in which Tesla hasn't been able to produce cars yet. Consider all the cost involved with importing the cars from other parts of the world. It is understandable that Tesla hasn't been able to fully compete with other brands. This is the main reason they are building Giga Berlin, and there is a lot of pressure to start production at Gigafactory Berlin as soon as possible. Tesla is already installing production equipment, although it doesn't have approval to start production yet. As soon as they are able to start production in Europe, I am sure they'll begin to recover from this setback. Finally, let's review how Tesla is doing in China, which is the biggest EV market in the world. Tesla has generally very good acceptance there, but they have also pretty strong and consolidated domestic competition, unlike in other markets. Some of these competitors are NIO, XPeng and BYD, which, as I said, have strong presence in the Chinese EV market. The Tesla Model 3 was top-selling EV in China in the first half of 2020, and they are now rapidly ramping up production of the Model Y, which they are able to sell at a cheaper price than expected and undercut competition. Tesla doesn't need the first spot in the Chinese market given the size of it. If they manage to maintain strong presence and deliver reliable products at a reasonable price, the Chinese market will continue to be one of the most important, if not the most important market for Tesla in years to come. Remember I said Tesla was importing its cars in Europe? Well, a lot of them come from China, so the opening of Gigafactory Berlin will not only improve Tesla's competitiveness in Europe, but it will also lessen the strain on Chinese production, and they'll be able to focus their manufacturing for local distribution. All these automakers starting to take part in the EV market will necessarily decrease Tesla's market share, but that's not bad at all. We got used to Tesla dominating the EV market by a wide margin, but the truth is that the more automakers making electric vehicles and moving away from combustion engines, the better. If Tesla manages to continue growing as fast as possible and doesn't lag behind big automakers in sales, they'll continue to be leaders in the industry for sure. What do you think? Does this sudden loss of market share from Tesla's part worry you? Tell me in the comments below. To achieve industry leadership, Tesla will have to start production of the Model 2 as soon as possible, so they can compete in the mass market, which is much bigger than others. If you want to know more about the Model 2, go watch this video I made. Although we have to keep an eye on how Tesla is doing compared to competitors, I think there is no value in following the stock price on every dip and surge. Tesla's stock is far from stable. It fluctuates a lot and will continue to do so. What we do have to look at is all the work Tesla is doing to keep expanding. There are currently 2 gigafactories in construction, one in Austin, Texas, and the one we talked about in Berlin, which will hopefully help with the supply constraints they are facing in Europe. Tesla is also allegedly looking into making a gigafactory in the UK, with various rumors indicating that it would be built in Somerset, as the government is considering a site that, quote, would be able to sustain an excellent gigafactory, end quote. This project, while still being speculations, would be an excellent place for manufacturing cars and batteries, and could complement Gigafactory Berlin in Europe, and as I said earlier, could give them the upper hand again in years to come. Tesla's only reason for existing is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, and they surely are delivering on that. If not for them, most of these efforts about transitioning to EVs from other automakers would be non-existent. Take that for granted. Thank you for watching all the way through. Here are 2 more videos that you may like. See you soon.